Hey guys, it's Brain Freeze Laser, and this is a video response to Dub K Dad's video from yesterday called Herp a Derp. Basically, he just talks about how he wants the game to be, he wants the game to be the way it was before when he started playing, or when he really liked it during Gold Control. A lot of players really like Gold Control. They say it's the best format. I think it was a pretty broken format, with your Tsukuyomi locks and crazy stuff like that. And basically, this format was good. I'm talking about the format that we have now was good, like last format or whatever. But now it's now it's getting crazy. Basically, Great Fails made a video. I think yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, where he talks about how there's too many decks. There's too many decks right now. There isn't any way for one person to know what deck, to be able to build a deck that's capable of beating all decks, to be prepared for all scenarios, all sorts of stuff like that. And basically, that's how I feel too. Like, I like to play my deck and everything, but it's like it does have its weaknesses. I try to play around them. I try to learn, and I think that's the difference between this format and other formats. Is that basically before it was you had to play rock paper scissors. And then rock paper scissors still exists now, but like it's a lot easier to play kind of still what you want without having to conform to the crazy decks, without having to play Fire Fist, without having to play Mermaid Atlanteans, without having to play Prophecies, whatever. You can still beat those decks. I beat them on a regular basis, but I get beat by them on a regular basis as well. And that's the luck factor of the game. You're not always going to get the cards that you need. I run 3 ofs, Kaya's 3 ofs, Battle Fader 3 ofs, what's that guy's name? Cyber Valley. And there's a slight possibility that I'm going to hit 2 to 3 of those cards in my first turn. The probability isn't super high, but it does happen once in a while, and usually when I hit those type of hands, it usually just spells doom for me. Not so much the Battle Fader one. The Battle Fader one's pretty cool because of the way that my deck works. I can keep getting the back and stalling until I get my big play and make my move. Which brings me to another point. Basically, a lot of people are like, "I'm gonna go back to Magic. I'm gonna go to Magic. I'm gonna play Magic again. I don't know why I'm playing Yu-Gi still. I'm gonna go play Magic." Magic is essentially the same way. If you played when I started playing, it was control decks. Control decks were the big decks to beat. Blue-white control. Variations of blue-white control. Blue, red, white. Green, blue, white. Black, blue, white. Blue, white, X controlled the format, and so and it still does essentially. If you go back now, it's red, white, and blue again. Blue, white, red deck. And it's crazy because like even when I started playing, people were complaining about how the game is changing and how they want it to be where it was sorceries and instances and stuff like that. And what are they called? Like the equips of that. I don't remember what they're called, but they've been auras and stuff like that. And and it's not like that anymore. It's very creature based now. It's very creature based. So now your creatures do what your sorceries and instants would have done maybe 10 to 12 years ago or whatever. And I think that's how Yu-Gi is now. It's very monster based, and you just gotta adapt. Basically, if you really love the game, you have to adapt, and you have to change with the formats, and you have to kind of learn what's good, and see if you can beat it with the way you want to play. I like chaos. I like chaos decks. I love chaos decks. The fact that they brought back BLS was crazy to me. I wasn't even playing when they brought BLS back. I had stopped playing Yugi. I hadn't played it for a long time. I told myself I was never going to play again, and they brought back BLS. That didn't bring me back. What brought me back was Return of the Duelist. Return of the Duelist, kind of like ironically, Return of the Duelist was such a good set that I had to come back. It was just like, oh my god, this set's amazing. It's a really good set. At the time, it was really good. And since then, it's been really good. The sets have been really good, and it seems like they're only going to get better. But basically, like, I understand where WK Dad and Great Fails are coming from. I understand that the game isn't the way it used to be per se. The game has evolved, but so should you as a player. And if your evolution means that you have to take a break and hibernate for a second while the game calms down, while the destruction of the format happens or whatever, then so be it. Just take a break for a second, and then when you feel like it's time for you to come back, then you can come back, and whatever. Unfortunately, the game is the way that it is. It's to make money, and us as older players will have to change with the new rules. I always use this analogy to kind of compare Yugi and the real world. Basically, if you work at a company for X amount of years, you will be making a lot of money, right? Or a decent amount or whatever, and then the company will want to make more money in turn. So they'll look at who's been working here the longest, who makes the most money. Oh, that guy. Let's get rid of him, or force him to take a pay cut somehow, or force him to take less hours. They're forcing you to overextend. They're forcing you to play your hand. And if you're smart, you can keep your job. You can keep all your money that you make. Maybe you can even get a promotion. Whatever. They'll either make you higher up in the company, or they'll make you leave. And I've seen it happen a multitude of times. And basically, the way it is like, how the company used to work, but we're changing it, and people need jobs. So we're gonna hire noobs, and noobs don't really care because they just want a job, and they just want to play the game. They just want to do the new deck, whatever. So you can either roll with the punches, or you can stop playing, essentially. And that's how the world works, and that's how Yugi works, and it's business, it's a company, whatever. So I guess the point of this video is, yeah, a lot of people would love to see the game go back to a technical standpoint, not too technical, but where you could at least set a trap hole and summon out an Air Knight, and you'll be okay without having to worry about your opponent going, and just covering the board with monsters and having 7 cards in their hand still by the end of the turn. Playing real teeth gritting games, and going back and forth with your monsters, trap here, monster there, spell. I remember those days too, and it was really fun. But there's a new kind of fun, and I guess you really just got to get used to that. And so that's about it. Just let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Make sure to check out the other 2 videos that I mentioned. I will be putting description or links in the description bar or box or whatever it is. Hit the like and subscribe button to see when I put out new videos. And thanks for watching.